Oh, welcome back into the Mad Monday podcast, brought to you as always by 4 and 20 Pies, the perfect at-home snack for watching rugby league. It is Thursday the 23rd of May, and joining us, not a Mad Monday first, but he hasn't been on for a while, the Notorious Pantsman, Joel Harrison, centre for the Mount Albert Mad Dogs as well?
Yeah, centre for the Mad Dogs. Is it all good with my claim with me being here today? Is it okay? Let me know first.
I don't think so, but I haven't asked him.
Okay, sweet. Just don't. Hopefully, he doesn't listen, and we'll be sweet.
Because last time we were going to have Chris on, and again we wanted to have Chris on today because obviously he just got back from Magic Round, but he was tied up. So I was like, well, Joel's just got back from Magic Round. Let's get him on. Obviously, Mike Lane famously would rather the podcast died in a fiery crash than had Joel Harrison on. But I thought, you know what, bugger it, executive decision. We need someone who is there, boots on the ground. Joel, you went over there, so you work for Radio Hodaki, you do all the social stuff, all the digital stuff. The Big Show guys went over there with Boys Trip.
Yeah.
But they didn't get you a ticket, did they?
Yeah, because at the start, there was kind of a bit of chat in the office. They're like, oh, mate, just hold off. Like, you'll be over there, don't worry. And then the closer it got, I was like, oh, there's no chance I'm going over here. So I was like, yeah, I'm just going to go on my own accord because I've got a few good mates over in Brisbane.
Yeah.
And I just can't miss this weekend Magic Round. It looked amazing.
So you bought flights off your own bat?
Yeah, for a really good price as well. The old Jetstar flights. It was like, honestly, under $500 return. And
is that right?
yeah, you get what you pay for as well.
Yes.
No, it's a great airline. Like you're not paying a premium for it, and you're not receiving a premium.
You're on there with everyone else who forgot to book tickets at the last second.
Yeah, 100%. And the good thing is you can book the tickets. This actually sounds like an ad for Jetstar right now, but it's not an ad. But yeah, if you're above 5'7" as well, it's not good for your legs on Jetstar.
You're above 6'7", so that's a problem.
Yeah.
For you, last time I went on Jetstar, and again, not an ad, I was sitting behind a whole family of patched Black Power members.
Oh, yeah, nice.
They had their patches on inside out, which outwardly to anyone else just looked like, because there was 3 of them sitting in the row in front of me, and then I was sitting behind them, which to everyone else just looked like 4 Black Power members sitting on the, again, not an ad for Black Power either, but shout out to them. We digress. You bought your tickets, you went over on the Friday, did you?
Yeah, I went over on the Friday. The plane left at about 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And literally, it didn't land all the way through to Monday morning. But it was good. I was on the plane with Ruben Wiki as well.
Ruben Wiki is on Jetstar?
The humble Jetstar. Well, to be fair, he was in the extra legroom section. Like, he sort of deserves that.
The first class.
Yeah, but he was on the plane, and I sort of got there and started bugging him a bit, just talking to him. No, he did say hi to me because I was wearing a Warriors jersey, and then I was like, oh, it's the worst decision he's ever made. But, we were talking the ins and outs of under 90 kg rugby league in Auckland.
Oh, really?
How the Warriors going. He was heading over there. He actually had a bit of a head going over there because he was going over for the Raiders 1994 30-year reunion.
Oh, yeah.
He said the likes of Mal Meninga, I think even Ricky Stewart might have been in that team or something.
I think so.
And he said it was going to be a big night in Brisbane.
Yeah, hell yeah. So you get over there. What was the first game that you went to?
Well, I landed at like 4 o'clock. Jetstar, they pulled through. They weren't delayed. So because if they were delayed, I definitely would have missed it. But the first game was at 6 o'clock. It was the Raiders versus Bulldogs, and I'd never been to Suncorp before.
Yeah.
And I don't know if have you been there before?
No, I haven't.
Like, you walk in there, and it is just the most amazing view of the ground, the stadium. Like it's easily the best stadium I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Makes Mount Smart look pretty average. But,
Yeah.
And even Eden Park as well. Like it's just a great stadium. You go in there, Raiders versus Bulldogs. It was kind of the game where everyone's like, oh, I might just miss the first game. But we went there, and it was actually a great game that went down to the wire, and the Bulldogs lost in the end.
Yeah, the Raiders. It was the first upset of the weekend. What? So when you get there, did you go for a drink? I suppose you wouldn't have had time at Caxton straight at that point.
We didn't get to Caxton beforehand, but yeah, we just went in there straight away. Like the drink service is amazing over there as well. They just have all these. I think they're 3.5% beers flowing, but like there's no queues because they've got these robots pouring the pints and stuff. And they do straights over there as well, so you can get a vodka Coke, get a bourbon and Coke if you want. I'm not sure of the strength of it, but you can get it. And just went in there, got a drink, and then we didn't actually have any seats originally. So I went over there with no tickets to the games as well. But I should probably loop back to the airport. I met a guy, I was pissing next to him at the urinal, and I was wearing a Warriors jersey. He was like a 65-year-old dude with a mullet. And he's like, you going to the footy tonight? I was like, yeah. he's like, oh, mate, I'm heading over there. My wife and I booked the wrong flight, so we're going to miss the first set of games. Do you know anyone looking for a ticket? I was like,
That's the rugby league gods.
You would not believe this, but I genuinely don't want a ticket. Like, how much do you want for it? He's like, no, just have it. I went out there, these two West Auckland, a couple from West Auckland, they were like so nice, gave me the tickets, and turns out they were diamond section as well.
Oh,
so
shit.
I was about 5 meters away from the action on halfway with cushioned seats. But yeah, so in the first game we sat there for a bit, then we went over and saw the big show, and it was good.
Yeah, that's the rugby league gods smiling on you for just making a plan and taking a good, honest rugby league chance on going over there.
Yeah, no, it was incredible. And then, like, I'd heard about the Caxton so much as well, so I went and checked it out in between the games. Yeah. Stayed over there for a bit of the first half of the Broncos Seagulls game, which again wasn't like a stonker of a game.
Yeah.
And the Caxton Hotel is it is incredible. The inside is awesome, but then in the outside, they just have a car park with about 1,000, maybe even 2,000 people in there, and a massive screen, like a 200-inch TV screen outside.
Yeah.
And just everyone is piling around there, drinking 4X and just watching the footy.
Yeah, and what's the vibe like there? Because everyone's there for the same thing.
Yeah.
So is it just like you basically all just mates from the moment you walk in?
It is, yeah. And there's just so many people coming up to you, up the wires, like, how fucking good are the wires? Hell yeah. And yeah, like an overwhelming amount of Kiwis there as well. I'm not sure if it's Kiwis coming over from New Zealand or just heaps of Kiwis in Queensland as
Probably
it is over there.
Probably
yeah,
both.
A good mix of both as well. And then just all these just munted Australian people there. Like everyone kind of giving each other shit about how shit their team was. Like after the Bulldogs lost, just like, fuck the doggies. And then these guys, they just laugh it off as well, thankfully. But yeah, it was just a great Friday night. Then afterwards hit the Caxton, and it was a good time.
On Friday night. So what time did you turn in Friday night?
I think it'd been a long day, like after having to work in the morning, then going to the airport, flying and stuff. Yeah. I smelled like shit, I'll be honest. Turned it in at about 1 o'clock in the morning. And then
next day, what time did you roll back into Caxton, or you go straight to the game?
Yeah, well, I had a mate over there, and we went and watched his rugby game, and his flatmate actually had a serious neck injury. So, well, we thought he was fine, but it was a precautionary thing. So it slowed us down about 2 hours because he'd get stretch it off. I was like, mate, how selfish of you on the weekend at Magic Round to do your neck. But thankfully he was all good as well. And then I rolled into the Caxton at about 1 o'clock. I had just missed like the Hello Sport podcast and Bloke in a Bar meetup.
Yeah.
But so I went in there because a few of my other mates were over there. And
I think they dodged you, to be fair.
They did dodge me. Well, they thought they dodged me until I caught Den and Kemp on the side of the road. And I knew I had to feed some good content back to you guys on the old WhatsApp group. And I saw Willie Mason, all 6'7" of him, standing like in the middle of Caxton Street, looking like an A-list celebrity. Just his
stunner shades.
Yeah, his stunner shades, like his vlog team around him, catching moments. And I was like, fuck, I'm gonna go ask him for a selfie, but I really hope I don't get put on their YouTube looking like a massive Punisher.
You delivered on the. I'd been saying in the lead up to this, I was like, I'm happy to like chip in to send Joel over just for the punishing selfies that we want to see.
Yeah.
And boy, did you deliver on that Saturday. They came through. I think it was like 7 or 8 of them.
Yeah. I caught Gordon Tallis outside Caxton. He was going in there because he was promoting a beer. So he was literally pouring drinks for about 3 hours.
So Gordon Tallis poured you a beer.
Gordon Tallis poured me a beer, and he also poured a beer. I think Di talked about this on the Monday, into some guy who had an amputated leg. He poured a beer in there, and I saw it. It was honestly one of just the most overwhelming things. Den and Kemp, he was in there, a really nice bloke, like a genuinely good guy.
He was literally a bloke in a bar.
He was a bloke in a bar, and then upstairs, which unfortunately I couldn't go to, but it was that because it was like the 150 people up there for Fletch, Hindy, and Matty John's 80s theme thing. So there's just all these guys walking around with the Bring Back the Biff kit on.
Dragon.
Yeah, and I reckon if you go next year, you want to follow kind of their social medias, because if you could get in that upstairs bit of the Caxton for that private party, it looked crazy.
We need to get in there. I saw, so you talk about the Hello Sport guys, their Facebook page, Punters and Dribblers.
Yeah.
I saw a post from Joel Harrison there on the Saturday looking for tickets. Did you manage to find tickets from that?
Yeah, I actually did. So on the Saturday, obviously we have a media pass that probably is going to get taken away from me after talking about this, but to get into Mount Smart, and I was like, why not test my lucks? It might work at Suncorp. And I got barred from 4 different gates. So like the big show guys went in, my mates went in, I was kind of just walking around. I went back to the Caxton, a dude I knew very briefly. I was hanging out with him. at the Caxton, and then I put on the punters and dribblers page, which has about 50,000 people.
Yeah.
I'd say about 75% of those people were at Magic Round as well.
Yeah.
And some guy replied to me with no Facebook profile picture saying like, "Hey mate, how much would you pay me?" And I was like, "Oh, $50." He's like, "Yeah, you can have it. It's a pretty good seat." This was about 4:30, so the Titans Knights game I had to watch at the Caxton.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he gave it to me. He just sent me a blank QR code, no barcode, no seat ticket, no nothing. So I was like, well, fuck, I've been scammed. But thankfully, my mate who lives in Australia, he's an Australian bank account, so he paid him, and apparently the guy called him, and he was like, "This is legit. Like, if any dramas, let me know. My bros are inside." And so he
What, in prison?
No, they were inside the ground.
Oh, right.
And I go there, scan it, and it's just not working. Like, it's not even picking up a scan, so it's not even denying. And I was like, "Oh God, I've definitely been done here." I tried for about 20 minutes, and I was like talking to people, and I was talking to this guy. I was like, "Mate, come on, I've come all the way from New Zealand. Like, I've clearly bought." I was showing him the guy I bought. He's like, "Oh, I think you've been scammed, mate." And then this random number calls me. I picked it up. He's like, "Yo, brother, is a fucking ticket not working?" He was, I would say he was a Lebanese Australian man.
Right.
And, sorry, pretty bad accent. But he was like, "If it doesn't work, let me know." And I was like, "It's not working, man. Can you send me the full ticket?" He's like, "I don't have the full ticket." But
He doesn't have the full ticket.
I was like, "Well, how come you replied to me?" And I was kind of like, "Oh, bro, surely you haven't scammed me." He's like, "Bro, I don't fuck with that. Like, I'm not scamming you." I was like, "Oh, it's kind of reassuring." And then he's like, "What are you wearing? I'll send you down. I'll send my two mates down."
Fucking hell.
I'll send my two mates down. They have the copy of the ticket, and they'll be able to get you in. "What are you wearing?" I was like, "Do you reckon you can pass on their number?" He's like, "I don't pass on numbers, sorry, bro." And
He's got a code, this guy.
At this point, I was like, "What have I got myself into?" I said, "I'm about 6'5", 6'6".
You're like 6'8".
You'll be able to find me. I'm wearing a black Warriors jersey. I'm standing there for 15 minutes, just like meshing people. "Oh, fuck. I'm probably not going to be able to get in tonight, guys. Like, does anyone know any other tickets?" And then these two guys call out, like, "Yo." And I come down, fully tattooed, like biker dudes come down. They're like, "Oh, you Joel?" I'm like, yeah. He's like, "We got your ticket." Scan it in. They're like, "Oh, sorry about the confusion." So I got in there, caught the end of the Knights Titans game, which was an absolute thriller.
Yeah.
And then went on to watch the next one, which was match of the round, probably Sharks Roosters.
Yeah.
And I didn't actually have a official seat, so I just went and sat next to the Big Show guys because there was a couple seats around them. Got turfed out about 5 different times because people were like, "Oh, you think you might be sitting in our seats?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh," it was a bit of a mission, but we enjoyed the Sharks Roosters game, which was a thriller of a game.
Yes, it was.
We were sitting right next to Lindsay Collins' whole family because
Oh, really?
it was his 100th game. So he came into the stands afterwards. I gave him a hug, gave him an embrace.
God, bet you bloody-
I think he had no idea who I was, obviously. But he was there, and then went on to the last game of the Saturday, which was Rabbitohs Cowboys, which once again was quite a good game. Latrell ahead of my SuperCoach team, and I was cheering him on. But every time he touched the ball, the whole crowd was booing.
Really?
Like-
Yeah, that's out of it, eh?
It was, there's a lot of hatred. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
"Nah, he's a fucking dog, mate. He's a dog." But it was rough. It was rough.
And then what, you Caxton straight after the games?
Yep, Caxton Street after the games. Keezy and stuff, I don't even know if they stayed for the last game. You know, they're saying that the rugby league people, I don't know, was Keezy there for the last game? Jason Hoyt definitely wasn't. But that we went to the Caxton Hotel afterwards, and it was just hissing with like people buzzing after their team had won as well. People drinking away the sorrows of their teams losing. And it's a great establishment in there. And then the whole road of Caxton is full of bars.
Yeah.
There's also a strip club on a side road down there, and there's a great shot of about 100 people all wearing footy jerseys lining up outside
To get into the strip
club.
Jeez, you'd make a bit of money that weekend.
Oh, it was great. And then also at about 3 a.m, because there was a competition they were running all weekend, which is great. It was catch the ball, and you can keep the ball. So like anytime the ball into the crowd is yours.
Oh,
They must have had about 1,000 balls. And some guys had a ball, and they were like, "Should we get a game of footy going?" Because there was like this AstroTurf sort of thing on the road.
Yeah.
And we had a 6-on-6 full contact game of league going. And I took a hit up, got flattened onto concrete, and like the next morning my ribs were tickling. But that we wrapped up, got a kebab, went
Took
home.
a tough carry at 3 a.m.
Yeah, these are the moments that go unnoticed in Magic Round. And then we're like, we better call it because the Sunday is supposed to be the big day as well with the Warriors playing. And I actually left my phone in the Uber at about 9 a.m.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
the next morning.
The next morning, yeah. Because I had a couple. I went from a mate's house to another one, and then I just got out. I was like so keen to go home, have a shower, get back to the Warriors fan meetup, and then lost my phone. And it was about 2 or 3 hours of just high intensity stress. I was like, oh God. Like, I didn't feel hungover all weekend until that moment, and it all hit me. I'm never going to get into the game. All my tickets, because I did have Sunday tickets.
So yeah, your tickets are on your phone.
Yeah, that's the one day my good close personal friend Marcelo Montoya hooked me up with some good tickets for that day as well.
Every day an adventure to get your tickets.
I know.
Some guy to urinal, then the Bikies, and then Marcelo Montoya.
I was like, it's going to be a good story. But yeah, so then I found it. The guy was reluctant. He's like, I can drop your tickets off, your phone off tonight. I was like, can you please just fucking drop my phone off? And I got it back, paid him 50 Australian dollars.
Yeah.
Wasn't cheap. It was so worth it though.
Worth it, yeah.
Yeah, and then I was about an hour behind. One of my mates was because there was the Warriors fan meetup at this pub called Lord Alfred, which is like the entrance to Caxton Street, and there's a balcony and stuff. And I got in there, like Mark Tukey's at the just welcoming people in and stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone is chanting like "Tuta Manaia," we're doing the haka and stuff. It was an emotional day to be a Kiwi, a Warriors fan over there. Like definitely the highlight.
And at that point, everyone would have thought we were about to get towed up by the Panthers.
Get an absolute highlight.
Yeah.
Like no one thought at all that we were going to win.
Nah.
There was the guy.
Even throughout the game, I feel like.
100%, 100%. Like there was a dude who runs the NRL roast page on Instagram.
Yes.
So he was an honorary Warriors supporter for the weekend because his Dragons weren't playing.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh shit, like I love how enthusiastic all the Warriors fans are. Like, let's be real, it's probably going to be a bit of a drilling.
It's going to be a bloodbath.
And yeah, we went down there, and first play of the game, we're sitting behind the sticks, and Tane Tuapiki kicks it about 5 meters deep. And then they literally score untouched the next
Straight
set.
off that, yeah.
And it was like, this is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Got turfed out of our tickets about 4 times from that game as well, because
Sitting in people's
we're
seats.
trying to sit in better people's seats. And it's all part of it, you know. It's all part of it. We found a nice spot just to the left of the Warriors fans and witnessed an amazing game.
Yeah, what happened after... So basically Edwards missed that kick, and that was it.
Yeah, and it's so hard to follow the games when you're actually at the ground as well, because there's a lot going on.
Tackle count, you don't know where...
I had no idea. Yeah, until the
Penalties.
Penalties, yeah. And then he kicked it, and I thought there was like 5 minutes to go. Sorry, missed the kick.
Yeah.
And there was 30 seconds to go, and everyone just celebrating. There was a row of us. We all had our shirts off. We're taking the Wellington Phoenix fever down to Brizzy, but it was just going crazy. And then the buzz after that win, I can only imagine what like a grand final win or.
Oh yeah.
It was amazing. Like I've never been in a sporting atmosphere. It would probably compare to Grant Elliott hitting that 6.
Yeah, right.
In 2015. But like everyone's just high-fiving everyone, buying people drinks. It was a great time.
And then after that, back to Caxton, was it?
Yeah, well, we watched the start of the Storm Eels game, and it was just, we were like, oh, well, this is going to be a good game. I found out that Keezy, Minogue and Pugs were staying extra, and then...
That's right.
Yeah, so they like kind of cancelled their flight or whatever they did.
Great expense to the company.
Great expense to the company. The company probably could have paid for my weekend if they didn't do that, but about 3 times over as well. But... yeah, and then we were like, let's go to the Caxton after 10 minutes. We're not going to like replicate that high.
Yeah.
And then went to the Caxton, and it was just full of Warriors fans.
I bet,
like, I don't think, there was honestly probably 90% Warriors fans out there. Minogue was just smoking Darius left, right, and centre. Keezy got kicked out of the Caxton as well because he was outside watching Minogue smoke a dart, and some guy offered him a hip flask, and the security guard saw Keezy drinking and kicked him out. Which was an interesting one.
But the guy with the hip flask stayed in.
I think he might have stayed in, yeah. And then also like the pokies rooms over there. Obviously the pokies culture in Australia is a big thing. And some Warriors fan hit the jackpot. Oh, it was...
What's a jackpot worth at Caxton, man?
It was 12,000 Aussie dollars, and he bought everyone in the pokies room a drink as well. And
holy shit.
Like,
everyone in the pokies room.
I chanced my arm, didn't win anything, didn't even get a feature, but oh God. It was
Did he
good.
get you a drink?
He did, yeah. I was like, thanks, man. This is so good. How much did this one cost? But that pretty much wrapped it up. I was at about 9 o'clock. I had to get to the airport at 4 a.m. the next morning.
Jesus.
So I went and slept on my mate's couch and with no blanket, arms inside a Warriors jersey, and woke up and was on the flight where it was just full of Warriors fans heading back to Auckland.
Dusty
People
as.
that probably hadn't booked the day off work. Everyone knew what was coming in for them. And then some guy asked for a paracetamol, and the lady was like, "Oh yeah, we can bring you one." And then there was about 5 people. "Oh yeah, do you reckon?" So then they ended up handed out Panadols on the plane as well, and it was a rough flight.
Was that Jetstar?
It was Jetstar.
Oh,
Yeah.
shout out to Jetstar.
Shout out to Jetstar.
You know what? Fuck it. This isn't it.
This isn't it. Yeah. If you can fly me there next year, I'll promote you guys' business.
Yeah, the Bogan missile shooting everyone back to Auckland.
Yeah, but there was just a sense like everyone was still wearing their Warriors jersey from the day before. Like I don't think anyone had a shower, and it was the end of a great weekend.
What a bizarre story. I feel like we almost need, when they get the little cartoon and they animate someone's story, we need that for your whole weekend, from the guy at the urinal to the drug dealers to Chris getting kicked out of the Caxton.
Yeah, and I would honestly recommend, especially you got ACC, you got to get back over there next year.
We missed the trick for that.
And people that were saying we got to bring the Magic Round to Auckland next year, it's just, I don't think it'll be the same.
Nah.
Just the way that they have it set up over there, you don't really wait for drinks as well. Even at halftime, you go there and there's a minute wait. The drinks are fairly expensive, but it's pretty standard for stadium food and stuff.
That's fine, but let me just get enough,
Honestly, yeah, it is. It was a great weekend.
Oh, brilliant. That was a great recap as well.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
It was, yeah.
Thanks very much for that, Joel. That was great. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back and talk about a SuperCoach. All right, I don't even know if I can be bothered talking about SuperCoach now after that. It's a bit of a deflating thing. But you came across some late mail, Joel, and this is pertinent to my team because I have this player. Late news for the Warriors.
Yeah, apparently AFB is out with a quote-unquote rib injury.
Hard to test for, isn't it, the old rib?
It is. It's like calling sick to work for gastro. It's quite a good one.
Yeah, it is. So I don't know if that's been reflected in the team list. Just before we walked in here, I checked, and that hasn't been officially updated. But, I mean, if he's out, it's a front row wasteland in SuperCoach, and I've got him, and he was sort of my... but he went missing at the end of that last game. He only scored 34 points in the end. So it's like, God, what do you do with him now? I'd keep an eye out, see if you can see that news come through from some sort of official channel, not some biker that Joel Harrison's come across at Magic Round. But that could have big ramifications. I think the other thing is this week for SuperCoach, it's hard for who do you bring in, because at this point of the season, everyone's chasing massive points, but all of those players are in contention for Origin. So it's like you don't know. The Origin teams will be named probably on Sunday.
Yeah.
So you don't know who's worth bringing in. Like I'm looking at Dylan Edwards because I can make the numbers work despite the fact he's like 900,000. But what if he gets named on Sunday?
And it would be weird if he didn't get named. Although, they like to go off historic form and stuff. But
which would be Tedesco, wouldn't it?
But surely Dylan Edwards gets a look at some position. You'd
think so. So that's the thing I've written down here. Dylan Edwards, do you pick him up if you can afford him? He's an incredible, he's the leading scorer this season. Tedesco is another one. He's like $300,000 cheaper. Do you bring him in? But again, does he go to thing as well? Burton surely has to be in the squad.
Yeah. What about Latrell?
I don't think Latrell plays Origin.
Yeah, and I bought him in last week. I think he scored 114 points on SuperCoach as well.
I'm pretty sure he's already ruled himself out of Origin.
Yeah,
I think when he was injured and he came back into the side, he said, "Hey guys, I want to focus on the bunnies. I'm not going to be involved this year," which screams that he got told he wasn't going to be a part of it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I don't know. I like Latrell because there's not a lot of great fullback options, and it's a little bit of a pot, and I'll actually tell you what I've done in a similar vein later on. But so buys this week, I guess if you want to make money, there's Blaise Talangi's still out there at 410k. He's got a negative 68 break even. Armstrong for the Knights as well, who looked incredible. 388, although they've got the buy this week, I think.
Correct,
the Knights do. So probably not this week. Is it too late for Dom Young? Do you have him, Adam?
I got him last week. I picked him up the week that he got negative 15, and I dropped him the week after. But yeah,
Joel actually captained him that week.
I think I got a SuperCoach record for lowest player score ever of all time after that one.
But negative 32.
Yeah, negative 32.
But I do think you're right. I think it is pretty tricky at this point because I think I got him on a week after you, Manaia, and he went up 150k, and I just had to kind of wear that. There is someone else in that fullback wasteland as well is getting on weeks. What about weeks? He is still only about 400k, and he still has a lot of stability with Fogarty out for some time, and he is a half fullback. Yes. I think he's only like 400k.
He is.
So that's a way you can make some numbers work as well.
Yeah, and particularly if you're looking to get rid of like Johnson, if you've still got Cleary or something, you want to clear up a bit of cap space. I think that may be where I'm going. Terrell May, story came out this week. There was a video of him on a live stream giving away footy boots, and there were allegations that he may have been on the old podcast powder. The Roosters put out an official statement saying these allegations are disgusting. He was just trying to give away footy boots. Do you think that there'd be any ramifications for him this week?
Well, the clip that came out, it was kind of out of context when I sent it through to the chat as well.
Yeah.
And you saw it. It just looked like these wasted guys were staring at a screen. But it turns out they were reading comments. And I think they were just kind of, they were just like staring at the camera, reading comments. And they all did look kind of wasted. Look, they might have had a few beers or whatever, but I think the Roosters will probably play it down. And
yeah. Oh, look, it definitely looked like Terrell May's hay fever was playing up.
Yeah.
But he might have just mowed his lawns.
He might have done that. And surely Brandon Smith wouldn't like just do anything like that on a live stream as well.
Surely.
Please tell me.
Surely he's learned his lesson. The only sell that I've got here is obviously if you've got anyone that's injured, if you've for whatever reason weren't able to get rid of like Cleary or anything like that, Val Holmes might be a sell. He's got 650. He's like the holy grail of massive break even. It's 97. He's also quite expensive, 653. Not scoring great, and also somehow in Origin contention. So he's like the holy grail of things that you kind of don't want at this. So if you wanted to move him on to try and bring in one of those fullbacks, or if you still didn't have like Dom Young, or maybe you wanted to bring Joey Manu in, that'd probably be the way to go with him. I just think Val Holmes, I just can't see it.
I got a bit of also a bit more late mail as well. Ruben Garrick's going to be playing fullback this week because Kula is out.
Oh yes, late scratching.
Yeah, so late scratching, and also apparently Lockie Galvin's going to be out as well. I'm not sure what his injury is, but he's been doing really well.
He has been. You've had him for a while, haven't you, Adam?
Yeah, this breaks my heart. I have. I also have Fanua Blake. Well, I guess so does a lot of people because he's like the perfect 5/8 option, and it's really good that I picked up Burden last week as well. So I'm really making it easy for myself in the playmaking roles. But I would imagine there would be so many people caught up in a lot of this scandal because a lot of those players are the players to have no matter what team you have, right? Like that's right. At least we all go down with the ship, I'd imagine, on this one.
Yeah. I'm binning my trades this week. I'm binning Sean Johnson, and I'm going to make a bit of cash. There's a couple of different ways to play this. You could go KO weeks. I'm moving Sean Johnson out. I'm bringing Ali Katoa in, who I think is going to make a lot of... he has been scoring massive points.
I got him last week. He was great.
Yeah, excellent. And good, I think, good buy-around coverage. Then I was like, I'm going to bring in KO Weeks, but I really wanted to bring Latrell in. I couldn't because of the way my team's set up at the moment. But I think the Rabbitohs have found something, and I think they've turned around a little bit. And so I'm not going KO Weeks. I'm going to bring Cody Walker in as a bit of a pod. He's like 500 and something. He scored 99 over the weekend. If they have figured something out, AJ's back out on that wing, and Latrell looks to be back in a bit of form. Cody Walker's my pod.
It's also Indigenous round as well. Those boys, they get up for it. Whiten, Mitchell, and Mitchell.
Yeah. I called for Whiten to be at 6 months ago, and Chris Key just about tried to laugh me out of the studio. I was like, it's not the dumbest thing that, and here we are. All right, who are we captaining this weekend, fellas? Me personally, I'm captaining Nico Hines. I didn't do it last week because I was scared he was going to get ruled out, and it fucking killed me. So I'm captaining him. That's it forever. I don't care if he breaks his neck. Next week I'm captaining him still.
I did the same as well. I bottled it last week and captained Crichton, which cost me a lot of points, and I will be doing exactly the same. He is just looking too hot right now, and I don't want to miss out on that.
I currently have the captain on Hines as well, but I just seen I'm playing Adam this week, so you never know. I might go for a pod captain. Latrell's looking tasty. Reece Walsh looking tasty as well.
I don't mind that. I like the head-to-head option. All right, so that's how we're playing it this weekend. Just before we go, fellas, the TAB Good Punt. I've gone a try scorer in every single game. I've gone the Tarantula. Here's how I see this one playing out this weekend. Michaeli Ravalawa, Murray Taulangi, Xavier Coates, Dom Young, Ronaldo Mulitalo, Alex Johnston, that's money for Jam. Reese Walsh in that one, and Dallin Wateni-Zalesniak, he has to score. You multi all of that up, it's paying $93.98. We put a $100 bonus bet on it, returns almost 10 grand, $9,298. So follow that one in responsibly.
Do you want my best bet of the weekend?
Go on then.
Marcelo Montoya to score 2 tries at $7.25. It's
2 tries?
2 tries, $7.25. He was looking good last week.
Yeah. Do you have any biases around the fact that he got you into Magic Round?
Oh,
perhaps?
mate, I have to thank him for life after that.
Or is that a vibe punt? I don't know. Follow those along responsibly and tune into the commentary. It's 6 p.m. It's the late game on Sunday, and it'll be, I believe, Di and Chris. Otherwise, we'll be back on Monday for the Mad Monday podcast again. Thank you very much, Joel.